Hi, welcome to my book talk. My name is Aubree, and I chose to read Lab Girl by Hope Uren. The category of biological science is plant ecology and geobiology. The book was published in 2016, but written during the 2010s while Uren worked at the University of Hawaii. Uren's purpose was to inspire readers to learn more about and appreciate the plants around them, encouraging even planting trees to better their environment. Uren also aimed to give a look into the life of a scientist, especially a female scientist who faced many hardships. Uren is a geochemist and a geobiologist with her PhD in soil science. She has won 3 Fulbright Awards and both of the Young Investigator Medals in Earth Science. She is one of 4 scientists to win both the medals and the only woman to have won both. Uren is highly respected for both her writing and her work as a scientist. Basically, the book is broken down into 3 parts: roots and leaves, wood and knots, flowers and fruits. It follows the structure of a plant, but also the life of Uren. It follows her journey from a child in her father's lab to becoming a respected scientist in plant biology. She faces several challenges within her field of work, as well as her own health. She deals with issues in funding, in working too many hours, in making a name for herself because it was hard to gain respect as a woman, as well as someone so new to being a scientist early on in her career. She's also bipolar and has many manic episodes throughout the course of the book, particularly when she's pregnant. When she's pregnant, she's taken off of her meds, so she goes through many manic episodes, and then she is told she can no longer go into her lab or be at the university while she is pregnant because it is a liability. And that makes her even more vulnerable than she already was because the one thing she enjoyed is taken away from her. Bill, her companion and lab assistant, is a major part of the book as he sticks by her through everything and even gives her the idea to write Lab Girl. Uren compares her own life to that of a plant, showing the qualities that help both humans and plants grow. The roots and leaves section was where was her early life and where she first discovered she wanted to be a scientist, as well as her schooling. Wood and knots is where her and Bill were trying to get their start up as scientists and building their own lab and the hardships they faced during that, especially with funding and trying to get their ideas out there as they were disregarded by other scientists, and Bill especially was homeless and wasn't being paid very well at all by Uren because they didn't have the money to even build up their lab, so they weren't getting any funds, so she couldn't pay him the way he needed to be because she couldn't even fund the lab. Then flowers and fruits, they finally reach success. She's getting grants. Uren is getting funding from the government. She is a professor at the University of Hawaii. Bill is being paid well. He finally has a home. He sold his a prior house that he had and earned a lot of money from that, so he's finally doing well for himself. Uren meets her husband, named Clint. They get married, they settle down, she has a child, and even though that all these great things are coming out of this time in their lives, they still face some of the problems that they did during Wood and Knots, because eventually the funding from the government will run out, and either they are going to get another grant or get some more funding, or they're going to be out of luck. My favorite quote was, "In my mind, in 1860, I see the men congratulate each other and gather around the root long enough to take a photograph with it, and then I picture them chopping it in half." This is in reference to the roots of an acacia tree being discovered as the longest/deepest growing roots. This is meaningful because within her imagination, Uren details this wonderful discovery, yet ends it with the roots being destroyed and taken away. I think in my mind, this connects to not only Uren's life, but many other people's lives, as every time Uren came across new information or something she felt important or something she wanted to share with others, she would reach another problem that would slow her down. Like, which is the same for many people, as we go through these happy time periods, yet some outside force or problem comes in and ruins that for us. So I think in the way that the Roots were doing fine, and then these men came in and invaded and chopped them in half and ruined it, the problems do the same for humans. The information is mostly up to date, as the hardships she faces in the story in her life obviously could not change, and many scientists, especially women, face the same things that she did. And the information she provides on plant science in the in-between chapters is primarily accurate, but there has been further research that has provided more knowledge on the subject since the book has been published. For example, there's more information on climate change and a plant's response to the climate. So overall, her overarching ideas that she provides about plants are correct. Now there's just more information on each subject. For me, plant ecology and biology in general feel more understandable since reading this book. Before, plants didn't seem as important or hard to take care of. I didn't appreciate them as much. And now, even though plants and animals are very different, as she states in her epilogue, it's easier to see the similarities between one's life to that of a plant. Also, I feel more gratitude to scientists. And not that I didn't appreciate them before, but now that I've seen some of the things they go through and the effort it takes to just get your name out there in a field such as that, I have more appreciation towards what they do. I would recommend this book because it gives a larger perspective on the life of a scientist and the life of plants. Particularly, I would recommend it to people who don't appreciate the career of a scientist or plants in general, because I think it'll give them a better perspective on it and will help them reach a point of appreciation, even if they don't have interest in either subjects. I think it'll give them a different perspective than they previously had. Yeah. But anyways, thank you.